What's up?
I say it on the show. Out with the old and the new.
That's pretty much how it is. That's the title. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 110 of Cali Brick Clique. And remember, you can find this episode and all previous episodes anywhere you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, of course, YouTube. And like always, we have Ninja.
Oh, yeah.
We have Claire, the Plastic Architect.
Hello.
And this week, we have someone special, first time around. He's no stranger to the YouTube community and representing the entire LEGO community in general. Dom, cool guy Dom, how's it going? Welcome.
It's going fantastic. I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to offend some people. I'm going to offend some friends, but this is my favorite LEGO podcast. I'm sorry, Stud Buds. I'm sorry, Building a Podcast. I'm sorry, ELPN. This is my favorite LEGO podcast.
Dang.
It's just good. It's great. Shots fired.
Okay.
Clip
Clip that, re-upload it on Instagram.
That's definitely going to go in there one day for sure. No, I'll up to the other ones too. They're all great.
They're great.
So we appreciate you too for the love and support. So we're going to dive very heavily into you.
Awesome.
So Dom, because
Yes.
that's what you want to be called according to
Yeah.
your little little line.
Just call me Dom.
Just call you Dom. Who are you?
I'm a Lego guy. I'm a young Lego guy that likes Lego a lot and decided to start filming it out of the boredom back in August of 2020 on TikTok. And next thing you know, those Lego videos that I thought won't amount to anything started performing very well, and I found a passion and a new purpose with making Lego content. And I was like, I really like this a lot. Let's see how much further I can go with it. So I just kept doing it. And then eventually it led to me being reached out to go on Lego Masters. And I was brought back to a holiday special. And in short summary, I just really like Lego a lot, and I post a lot, and I'm trying to post more. And that's yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to that fresh Yoda back there.
Thank you, Swag Yoda.
Yeah, swag. Okay, there we go. Swag.
That was really
That was the most concise.
that was really fun. Yeah, it was good. You were and it was also quite humble as well. You're like, yeah, I just like Lego, and I posted some content and it did well. Which, the truth of the matter is, it's what happens with most people. Either they were like, I planned this out, it was very intentional, I've had other internet platforms, or it was like, I don't know, I just like it.
It just kind of happened, and here I am. So I was like, W.
Well, congratulations, I guess, on all the fun opportunities.
You never went into a dark age, I'm presuming.
I did.
You
So I got my first Lego set. It was 7667 Imperial Dropship,
Wow.
little Stormtrooper battle pack. I know it because I'm looking right at it. And I got that when I was 6, and me and my dad built it together. And I still remember us building it together, which is really cool. I'm really happy I still have that memory locked in there. Core memory right there.
Nice.
But I ended up collecting Lego. Lego. It was also around the same time as Lego Indiana Jones was out, so I got a few of those sets, top tier sets. Excited for the new ones. But I ended up collecting Lego up until I was probably 13, 14. Then I slowly got out of it and got into other hobbies. I had action figure collecting phase. I had a whole semi-competitive Pokemon TCG playing phase. And then COVID happened, and essentially late 2019, early 2020, I was slowly getting back into Lego just as something else to do other than just my whole hobby being Pokemon. So I started getting a few sets. I started resorting my childhood collection of parts. And then the world shut down, and I was like, well, now I have more time to sort my pieces and rebuild my sets. And then August of 2020 came around, and I remember watching Epic Bricks at the time, and I'd say still the godfather of Lego TikTok. He was the real big MVP at the time, making really good, high quality Lego content on TikTok, a short form platform that was rapidly growing at the time. And then that inspired me, along with another influencer business guy, Gary V. At the time, he was just telling people to just do what you want to do, just try it or whatever. And I was like, well, people making Lego content on TikTok, I'm bored. I just did it, and it blew up slowly. And there was slowly more people coming into Lego community. I mean, we had Ethan the Artisan, Matt Mellish, Breaking Up Brad, Lego Jedi, which he doesn't make content anymore. RIP. But so many there was Lego, but at the time there was like 10 of us, and I look at it as like the Lego TikTok pioneers, where we ended up forging this small little Lego community that grew and grew, and now there's Marcus Bricks, there's Joey started making TikToks. He's actually coming to my house tomorrow, so that's fun. And all these new amazing content creators getting into it, just seeing other people make Lego content. And one of my goals was to simply just, with making content in the beginning, was to inspire others and just make content, especially with my generation. I feel like it's not so weird anymore for teenage boys to collect Lego. But I feel like at the time when I started making content, I used to get a lot of comments being like, grow up. Oh, you still play with toys? And I was like, yeah, you should too. It's fun. But I have noticed there was this, at this time, I don't remember when, but there was a spark of these really young content creators. We're talking 13 to like 16. And some of these kids have already surpassed me. And I was like, good. I'm thankful that they are, because these kids are really talented making Lego content. I know there's this one kid that already has more brand deals than I have. And I was like, what? Okay, cool. But it's crazy. It's just, I don't know. My goal was just to simply just express my passion for Lego, share with others, and hopefully inspire others to do the same. And I feel like I kind of did that, and that makes me happy. And I want to continue to do that.
I didn't know you were an OG in it. I mean, I knew you were like a staple in it. That's good to know. That's actually really cool to see that you were one of the
I got in very early at a time where, like I said, there was like 10 of us maybe,
and now there's like everybody.
Yeah, not everyone and their mom.
When was that? Because like
that would have been like
a short, like in retrospect, it feels like a short amount of time, but for social media, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So like how much time is that? I guess
it would have been the summer of 2020 when a lot of people started popping up. Brad and I popped up around the same time, just making content. Ethan was at it. I think he started making Lego content on TikTok in October of 2019, I want to say. And then I don't remember when Epic was doing it, but he started way before. It's hard because I've always wanted to, like, I should really try to go back and like write down the timeline and the evolution of Lego TikTok, but it's hard.
That would be a good.
But that would be cool. That'd be a cool video. So I'm like, do I want to go deep dive into old accounts and ones that have rise and fall, because there are
those are good content. Like, I mean, I like seeing the evolutions of whatever community that's out there. So I don't think I've seen one with like just specifically the TikTok community. I've seen ones that were like people from TikTok are involved in whatever the video is about, but I've never seen anyone that's do one strictly on that. And we noticed it last Chicago that there was a new group in town. I mean, we all knew the Lego Masters was a new group in town already, but they've already been established for like 2 years. But like it was definitely noticed in Chicago last year that there's this new wave of influencers, video content creators that are out there that have a name for themselves, and mostly none of us really knew how big most of you guys were.
I picked up on that.
And we were like, but then we would check and we're like, holy crap, 1 million? Or like, like just all ridiculous numbers, and it's just crazy. We're like, well, these people are reaching an entire different group of people that are out there, and exponentially higher than a lot of YouTubers are, or a lot of Instagrammers are, and it's a good thing for the community. But you also represent the youth of it all, which we'll get into in a little bit. But eventually you got onto Lego Masters within like 2 years with Ethan the Artisan.
Yeah, my Lego career has, like, I remember watching season 1 of Lego Masters, which was a huge inspiration for me to just get into content creating, along with Boone. My relationship with Boone, I always looked up to Boone. The moment I remember watching him on Lego Masters, I was like, that is so cool. So I quickly followed him on his social medias, and he was also an inspiration for me to get into making content. But yeah, I still look back at it, I'm just like, my goodness. And within the span of like 2 years of making content, I got on Lego Masters, which was never in a million years I would have thought that would even happen or come close to that, because I'm not really that big of a mock builder. I don't know if you picked up, if most people pick up on that. I have
You're with Ethan, it's fine.
Exactly. I had Ethan by my side.
Yeah, Ethan, you're fine.
Exactly.
But multiple Lego training montages before they're doing the show. I like to think I got kind of decent at building mocks, a lot better than I was. That was.
Were you curious? Were you put together, or did you guys join together?
So November, I think it was like November of 2021. I got a Instagram DM late at night from a casting agent. I was like, nah, I'm being asked to go on Lego Masters. What? No, me? No. So I looked into it. I looked at his account. I was like, this guy seems legit. So I scheduled a phone call with him, and he was like, who do you want as your teammate? And I instantly thought of Ethan. Because we have a lot of similarities. We're both homeschooled. We're both like TikTokers. We're both redheads. We both wear flannels. We have a lot of similarities. We're one of three
Perfect.
brothers, both very similar in age, dynamic duo. So I asked him to be my partner. And the previous 2 seasons, because of his Instagram account, he's had casting agents ask him to go on. But during those 1 and 2, he wasn't old enough yet. But we were both legal adults at this time, so we both had our chance to get into the ring and potentially go on Lego Masters. I did not think we would get on. Truthfully, I went into every interview stage thinking this is it. I don't, it's an honor to have gotten this far. It was an honor just to even be, scouted at the first place, yada, yada. But next thing you know, I get flown out to Houston for our final interview, which went horrible because we were pushed back a day. There was like so many people mixed into this interview that we didn't have much chance to talk because we kept talking over people. So we just built what we did and hoped for the best. And I remember I was at work and I get a phone call and they're like, hey, you're coming to Atlanta. I was like, oh. Ethan gets the same phone call like a few minutes later. And then the rest was kind of history there. We went to Atlanta and we did the Lego Masters thing.
You also went to Atlanta and didn't do anything for a couple episodes. How was that?
Yeah, so we were not informed that they had a plan with us. We assumed that we were just going to go straight into episode 1, smooth sailing, start with everyone in the race. But we were separated from the group one night, and a few producers came out and told us, yo, this is our plan. And Ethan and I were not very happy at first, but essentially what it came down to, we made it this far, might as well just got to see it through, my boy. So we ended up going along with it, and it is what it is. Do we get the result that we wanted? Not exactly, but I mean, our main goal was to essentially get on the show and make it last more than one episode, and we did technically, but it wasn't.
Well, at least you weren't the first ones to get kicked out. I think that's everyone's like fear is like, I know I'm not gonna make it like to the end, but at least I don't want to be the first one to get kicked. And you were already exempt from that. In fact, you were like put on a pedestal for a little bit, which is like a little bit of added pressure to that.
Yeah,
like,
that was
jacked up. I'm like, oh, dude, I don't even, because I remember I didn't know that was happening. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, these guys better be good if they're really gonna hold them back that far.
We were all right.
No, you guys definitely held up your own, but like, how did that like feel like coming into it, 3 weeks or 4 weeks after everyone's already started?
It's not how I wanted. Neither of us wanted to go into the competition and like that, because it was very unfair for us and the other teams, because they had to go through a week of these challenges, which is very exhausting, but at the same time they get the experience of going through those challenges and learning the brick pit and getting an idea of how everything's organized and understanding the workflow between each teammate and stuff, where we did not have that. We had an extra week of rest essentially, and other than practicing with a few bricks that we had in our rooms and binging Lego Masters Australia and watching a lot of tutorials and just scrolling on the feed of tips and bricks, just trying to get build techniques, that's all we really had. And then we were thrown into episode 4, and by the end of episode 4, our legs were destroyed because of how often we would run back and forth to the brick pit, because we just didn't know what pieces we needed, nor did we know where they were. I ended up getting yelled at twice because I was running so fast trying to beat the clock. They said I was a safety hazard to myself, so that was fun.
Hey, it's a competition.
It's a competition. I was like, there's a time limit. I'm zooming. I got to get my bricks.
I understand. Yeah.
It's whatever.
I mean, aren't there rules? There's a lot of rules that the audience doesn't get to see. So running too fast is obviously a rule, or is it not? Are there other? I mean, we know there's building rules, like you have to make your building or your build this big, or
there's a few like dimension sizes of builds that have to be a certain length or width or in this dimension. that they just don't go over. And then there's like a few other rules, like you have to have this many builds or you have to have this many mechanics in your build, which I feel like would benefit the show if they explain those rules so the viewers have better understanding of why some builds look a certain way, or they did so much this, or they struggled with this build. Didn't focus so much on the drama aspect and drama.
I feel like with that, the Lego community as a whole would respect the show more, or at least the US version or the North American version, if they were to do that. But for the Fox trying to like promote it to like every nook and cranny of the US and Canada, I don't know if that's going to be received well, because a lot of people are just not going to understand why. You know what I mean? Because they're not really big fans, and there's already been a lot of people coming into the fandom as a whole, or the hobby as a whole, because of Lego Masters. So it's a good ease into it. I mean, if you start, like, for example, the we're gonna fast forward a little bit with the whole working with the celebrity who had nothing as far as knowledge,
with zero knowledge of Lego building.
Yeah, like telling them what a 1x2 is going to be completely not.
It's a different language. It's essentially a different language. Like, what are those words?
Yeah. So I feel like with like, as much as it frustrates the Lego community, no matter what part they're in, just doing that, it kind of doesn't make sense to a mainstream audience. I mean, they could they did a little bit, like they would introduce what this word means in like previous seasons. I didn't really see much of it this one.
There's a few segments that we would pick up on, like we don't all of a sudden Amy and Jamie would come out, which they never do. They start pulling pieces and then they'd build something, and then the camera would be right there and be like, this is a building technique, yada yada blah blah blah. We're like, can we go over there? Can we watch a ton of pieces that we need? Like, you have to do this right now while we're building. Whatever.
Dang, okay.
So
there's limitations.
Going back to it, you had less time on the floor. You had less experience with you and Ethan, like building together on a task that's given to you. And then you had a disadvantage with not knowing where anything is, how like the real processes work. But you also had less screen time. You think that was not? I mean, that didn't seem fair to me, because you could have lasted those three episodes longer.
Yeah,
you would have been able to showcase more.
I'm happy with the amount of screen time that we got, but yeah, we definitely could have gotten more. Ethan's and I's social media, from what we noticed, we did not get like a giant boom of new followers because of the show. We didn't see a spike at all. Neither of us are verified, but I'm sure there's probably forms that we need to like fill out for that stuff. But I feel like the only thing that Ethan and I really gained from going on Lego Masters is we were on Lego Masters and brands look at us a little bit better. But other than that, we're not like celebrities or super famous or super rich because of it now. It's kind of just, I look at it as like a thing I did. That was a lot of fun to be a part of.
An experience, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like separate from Lego Masters and stuff, but a lot of the reality shows are kind of like that now. I feel like, I think there was maybe a time where people would have thought that, but there's just like, I mean, this is a reality TV show based, for families to watch kids. It's not like, I don't know. Who knows? I could be wrong, but I'm curious. Like, were you expecting that?
No.
Okay. That's good.
Other than I know Boone's verified, that would have been cool, but like, not really. I know I've been in a few news articles. I was in my local paper, because locally people are treating it as a big deal, but how I view it, it's not as big as a deal as people are making it to be around here. And maybe that's just me not understanding that, or not understanding the perspective of living in a small town. But it's like, it's whatever.
I mean, that's cool though.
It is cool, and it is very like, I really do appreciate all the local publicity, and I think it's really cool to be recognized by my community. But there's like this new like, you're famous. I'm just like, I'm not famous. I went to a local basketball game, and half the people knew me there, were calling me famous, and I was like, I'm not famous. I'm not famous. I'm no more famous than I was before.
I think amongst like the regulars at like a convention, or like the regulars that you would find in TikTok, like YouTube or Instagram, they'll know who you are. You know what I mean? Because as much as I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I never really watched every single episode of Lego Masters unless I found the builds to be interesting, and then or
I don't
the
even think
personal
I'd
comment.
finished season 3. I'm pretty
I
sure I
didn't.
skipped 2 episodes.
I
No,
got pissed
just
after
sorry to
the
my-
Midnight leaving episode. I
I
was
got
like,
to
this
like
movie-
the mini golf.
you, you did your
I
homework.
mean, I watched a few after that one, but I was like, eh. And sorry to my fellow contestants, I will
Oh,
rewatch
damn.
this season. I just need some time to
Cold
do
blooded.
this.
Oh, how is that? How is that rewatching yourself on TV?
It's so weird. It's like such a bad haircut. Yuck. And like some of the things that I said, I'm just like, why did I say that?
Like, did you think it was going to be
so cringy.
cringy
Blame it on the script.
when you said it, or like it's like?
I mean,
oh,
yeah,
man, this is
I kind of, one of my goals was to be cringy, but a little bit just for the, just like, yeah, I was cringy on Lego Masters. Of course, I was cringy on Lego Masters, but it's just weird seeing yourself on TV, and I feel like I should be used to it because, I mean, YouTube
TikTok?
and TikTok, but it's
Yeah.
so much different. It's not that much different. It just feels different.
Do you think it's
kinda-
because you have somewhat of a control of your audience versus on TV you do not? Like, there's no back
That's
and
a
forth.
great
no
way
back
to
and forth
put
on
it
TV.
because whatever I put out, I know what I'm putting out. To them, they could have edited me to be a horrible human being to Ethan because we did not vibe. When it came to building, we did not vibe well at first in our first couple of challenges. It took us, I think, 2 or 3 challenges to get into the rhythm of working with each other and trusting each other to get our builds done and our projects done. Because and I'm so sorry, Ethan, I apologize to him to this day. I was so hard on him when it came to like building fast because there was some things I was just like, you've been working on the same thing for like an hour and a half, dude. I got all this done. What are you doing?
Ooh, man. Yeah.
Where was that?
The first episode, we were so scrambled in our first build. I had I think at least 2 tiny panic attacks.
I feel like that's like a common denominator with every team. Is that
Yeah, everybody's
out.
like that. Yeah, I mean,
Especially
can
the
you blame
first
them?
challenge.
Think about it. You're like, no matter how much you practice, it's not like you have the cameras on, and you know, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Sorry, I'm like,
The timer.
And it was Ethan's and I one of our first times building together other than a few small challenges, little tests that we did together. That was it.
The pressure
Damn.
was on right there. Then.
Yeah, I know that's a lot of pressure.
It was the most
bad.
pressure I've ever felt in my entire life.
I remember seeing you guys come on because I didn't know you guys were coming on, and I saw that I was like, oh, that's kind of jacked up.
Yeah.
That's not. I get what they're doing, but it's kind of jacked up because now they also made it in a way where everyone's like against you. At least that's what they made it sound like. Because you're
Funny
like, oh,
enough,
I see it.
I'll go into a little story, and I'm sorry, Ethan, but people need to know how Ethan forgot his name when we were introduced. When we were brought out through the saloon doors, the first initial take, everyone was so excited to see us again because we had some time to hang out with the rest of the contestants before we started shooting and really bond with the contestants and make friendships and like get to know each other. So they were all really bummed out and surprised when we didn't make it on episode 1 with the rest of the cast. So when we come through the saloon doors and they see us again, because they all assume that we got sent home, they explode in excitement. I know Liz and Aaron, Michelle and Tacos, I think, and Emily, both of the Emilys were like tearing up and crying. Some of them were just so shocked. I mean, there were a few people that I don't think were too excited to see us, but a lot of people were excited to see us and happy that we were back. And we did that take, and Ethan was so shocked about the excitement that he, for like 2 minutes, could not say a word. He was like completely starstruck and just shook. And it was hilarious because Will Arnett was just like, "Who are you guys? Who are you guys?" He would just like re-say his line because we were given like 4 lines for our intro. Thankfully, they made us do a couple takes before they brought out the contestants because they had a feeling Ethan and I would have done that. Just in case, which pan out. But essentially, after they got up in excitement, they said, "All right, reshoot it." We're like, "What?" So they had us go back to the saloon doors to come back out. And one of the director was like, "You guys aren't supposed to be happy to see them. You're supposed to be confused and upset and mad. You don't like those guys." Which
So-
to this day, I'm just like, rude.
So do you like the way Lego Masters portrayed you and Ethan?
No, not one bit.
I'm
kind of like whatever. Ethan, in the one episode, I think it was Monster Camp. He did not like how we were portrayed because of my strategy with the golden brick. That would have been flawless if they actually did eliminate someone. I put so much time and effort into that plan. It just, but whatever. But yeah, he was pretty upset with the depiction of that episode and how they edited us, because like when happy things were happening for the other contestants, they would cut back to us to making us look very like, they used clips of us that we just weren't smiling, so we had blank expressions as if we were upset and mad that our plan failed. But no, we were excited. There was a part of us that were excited that no one got sent home. That's kind of cool. Strategy didn't work, but that's whatever. Worst comes to worst, whatever.
Dang, so it sounds like they used those clips when you're angry about the building and totally used them out of context.
That's essentially what happened.
Dang, that's cold. Okay.
Every Lego Masters pretty much said something remotely close to that, if not exact same thing. Both on here and off. Like, but that's that's reality TV. You have to make a compelling story somehow. So that's kind of an expectation for that. It's just I have yet to find anybody who was completely happy with how they were represented on national television. Which kind of sucks.
Is what it is. That's TV. That's Hollywood TV.
Yeah. As long as you expect that, yeah, you'll be all right. It's just when you start diving to the the Reddit threads.
Ooh, them Reddit threads. Ooh.
I feel like when it's coming from like everyday schmoes, then it's just like whatever. But when it's coming from the Lego community,
that I'll get into that a little bit. That kind of hurted, because Ethan and I are really, we're definitely big community members. We love our Lego community, and to have people right out the bat not liking us because of something we had no control over, without knowing the full story, kind of sucks. Kind of hurts a little bit. It is what it is. If it's some random everyday Joe Schmo, like you said, it doesn't really matter. But when it's someone in your community, someone that you make content for and support, it's like, that hurt my feeling a little bit. But it is what it is. I'm not going to be able to please everyone. And Ethan and I are used to the fact that, haters going to hate. It is what it is. But
did that happen though? Like, did specific viewers on your TikTok, did they react poorly to you going on the show?
Some people reacted good, some people reacted bad, and then there was just the Lego Masters subreddit ripped into Ethan and I, and that's it is what it is. It's Reddit, who cares? But it's still people, Lego fans on Reddit, so it's whatever.
Did anyone get upset? I can't believe they just let these guys on.
Oh yeah,
episodes in.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were like that, how unfair it is, and how what a bunch of cheaters.
They cheated.
Or
they use TikTok codes.
They use TikTok algorithms to hack the mainframe to get into episode 3. How dare they?
This is what it comes to. Yep.
Is what it is.
At least these people are emotionally invested enough to write a pissed off comment.
True. It sounds like a bunch of lunatics. I'm sorry. Also, are they thinking that they're gonna be on Lego Masters? I don't understand. What?
I think it's a lot of people that they don't understand the fact that it's a reality competition
It's
show.
just a TV show. It has nothing to do with I'm sorry if this is insulting, but it doesn't really have much to do with actual building skill. It's just a way to market the product to a different audience. That's it. It's just
Yep.
Anyway, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
A lot of people don't understand that. Even the actual Lego Masters themselves, Master Builders, they do have parameters, but they're not on a time clock 12 hours.
Yeah.
And they have
there's reasons, there's rules in place that Joey cannot go on Lego Masters, because one, he would wipe the floor. There's 2 model builders that I know, Vivid Builds and Master Model Joey. I try putting them together, guys, you'd be an ultimate combo. And I think one of them looked into it and yeah, we can't. We're certified official builders. We legit, they would not allow us.
That's not the point. That's not the
point. Which stinks. Right. That's what it's disappointing.
That's not what's going to get new people to come in. It's
No, you want
really think
you want personality. You want
Mhm.
interesting topic. You want that type of draw to bring people to the show, and that's
Yeah.
that's mainly why all of you who are on, the roles that they're literally shoving like down your faces, to project out into the world that hopefully reaches everybody is, oh my gosh, like it's kind of like blinding at this point.
Mhm. Yeah, like
Like
the
you
whole
kind of saw it a little bit in season one, a little bit. Two, okay, they really harped on it a little bit, and then this one for sure, with the scrubs, with the fireman
Just
firefighters,
outfit.
thinking that,
doctors,
yeah,
Mhm.
teachers,
Yeah,
mom and son duo, siblings,
brother, sister. Yeah.
Twitch streamers, young, youthful, hip TikTokers wearing tie-dye and stripes. Those are not my sweatshirts.
I thought they were.
Those are not my sweatshirts. Our wardrobes were given to us. We do not dress like that. Maybe a
I
little
mean,
bit
I
now.
expected that during the holiday one for them to. I mean, if you actually had that sweater, I would have given you a little bit more respect for it because it's actually really funny and also
It's
pretty
a
cool.
funny sweater.
But I thought you had to come up with like your own wardrobe, like 5 or 6 outfits. that
We
you would wanna
did,
wear.
and we brought them, and they were all denied. They were like,
Oh,
Dang.
damn.
because Ethan and I, with our similarities, we also dress very similar. Graphic T-shirt, flannel over it, jeans. That's us. We're
You
basic.
can't do a graphic tee on like a branded
Exactly.
tee on a TV show.
Yeah, we couldn't do that,
Mhm.
so we
Yeah.
got blank tees, just
Yep.
uncolored tees that we went out and bought ourselves. And even those were just like, nah. Kind of like, okay, so
Oh,
what
they
are we
were
gonna
like,
wear?
too dull, too boring.
Pretty much. And then also Drew and Miranda, their wardrobe was flannel. So I think they already had that flannel look taken.
Mhm.
Sucks because I had so many great flannels I could have worn. Missed opportunity.
At least you didn't have to wear them for like 8 hours a day.
I would have
2 days,
because
2 days in a
our
row.
hoodies, the one hoodie that Ethan had, I think in the golf challenge, I think it was the orange one, was insulated. It was like it was
That
made
looked
for
uncomfortable.
it
'Cause
was
you guys were in
made
that.
for cold weather, like cold, like working outside in the cold. And every day, because of our wardrobe, at the end of the day, we'd be drenched in sweat and stinky. Thankfully, they would, after each shoot, they would take our wardrobe, have it dry clean, and dry it overnight, and then in the morning we'd just put it
Same
back on
clothes
again.
on.
Same clothes. But yeah, our wardrobe was not fun. They gave me like these flat shoes, and I wore them for like one episode, and I was like, I'm not wearing these anymore. I'm wearing my boots because I brought my boots because they're comfortable for long days, and I knew that I was, that's what's going to be given to me were these long days of building, and I was like, I need some comfortable shoes. I'm wearing my boots. End of story. And they're like, okay,
I never
wear
looked at your
boots
feet.
Take
Yeah.
a stand.
I think the closest time I looked at your feet is when you guys are on the ground for the
Mhm.
golf challenge, which is like, that's when I realized like these guys look very uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah,
squatting down like that. Like
our
everybody did.
our wardrobe is hot and sweaty because those big studio lights,
Oh,
it's like 90 degrees in
Yeah,
there.
no, they're
It is
not.
not fun.
Yeah,
Ethan and
they're
I
not.
would chug water. I'd have to remind Ethan to chug water. Some of the moms would remind us to chug water.
Oh,
That's another thing I'd like to get into. Liz, Aaron, and Emily, Liam's mom, we called them our Lego Master moms because they would remind us to do our laundry. Are you eating enough? Have you drinking water? Do you need to go potty? So all like mom things, and they were momming us, which was much appreciated because Ethan and I would get so focused on building against that clock that we would legitimately forget to take
You
care of ourselves.
probably stunk. They were probably like, "Oh my god, those young dudes. We gotta stick
Exactly.
them under the shower."
hashtag Virginia.
yeah, like, why are they wearing
Especially if you
hoodies?
guys were sweating your faces off. Yeah, I mean, this combination, this picture that you've painted,
Mhm.
Dom, isn't doing you any favors.
It
But
was such a fun experience. So much fun. Love Lego Masters. Highly recommend it.
well, so okay, but like, not to like keep ragging on Lego Masters. Would you do TV again? Would you do like television again, or you think you're gonna stay away from it? I'm just curious.
Ethan and I have thought about it. I think I'm more open-minded to doing like an all-star season. I
Mhm.
doubt they would want me back after bringing me back on the holiday special. And I think the Australian version of the show is doing an all-star season where they're going to bring back old contestants from previous seasons and pair them up with other ones from other seasons, which hypothetically, if the U.S. were to do that, I feel like I would be down for it because Ethan and I definitely want another shot at redemption. Because of how we were introduced, we never got a fair chance of actually winning the show. Nor did either of us, hypothetically, we did not want to even get close to the finale. Like, we didn't want to, we wanted to shoot for the finale and try our best to get there, but it wouldn't have been honorable to get there when we had such a shortcut. And I didn't want that on my record.
I get it.
So also with how the show plays, I doubt we would have lasted that long to even get that close. I'm surprised we got as close as we did, all things considered, and just how shows work. And I don't know. I wouldn't want to get that too far in the competition knowing that I had a shortcut, because that's unfair. It's just rude.
I see.
So yeah, if All Stars happen and if we were to call back, I would totally just Rocky montage train and try to win the All-Star season, hypothetically, if it were ever to happen. The problem is I feel like I would have a little bit of trouble getting Ethan on board to do an All-Star season, especially because that won't be maybe after season 5. Who knows? But yeah, I probably would do it again, because although everything that we went through, the relations and the fun times after shooting were fun times.
Right. No, yeah, that's looking coming.
Yeah, that's which has been really nice to hear. Not that we want to speak on behalf of anybody who's been on the show or people we've had conversation with, but it seems like, it's all worth it for those relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Worth for the relationships, and just being able to build freely with that many bricks is something that not many people get to do in their lifetime. And if I could do it again, I would, because it's fun.
Didn't you also win a bunch of bricks?
That's what I was about to ask.
That too.
Split that?
How'd that work?
So Ethan and I, during Monster Camp, during the camp challenge, we won the gift boxes, and we ended up getting the one with the 90K bricks. And I had my Oprah moment where you get some bricks and you get some bricks. I love that so much. But Ethan and I just submitted our orders, because we split it 45-45. We just sent those in, and we will probably get those pieces end of the year, maybe early next year, because it's a lot of pieces.
I wonder if it's coming through Lego or Lego Masters.
Is
it the same inventory as Lug Bulk? Same list, if you know?
No, it's pretty much the inventory of what they have on set. So it's a lot of basic elements. Nothing super crazy, nothing too special. Not rare colors of bricks. Basic stuff, but I'm getting a couple hundred base plates.
Hey,
there you go.
That was a fun ordering system. There was, I guess, to put it in Bricklink terms, there was over 2,000 lots, and we had to order, the minimum per lot had to be a minimum of 200. So we had to order, because of the size, to make it, I guess,
to make it worth it.
So
out of 45,000, that's a lot of bricks.
It took Ethan and I. We didn't get the list to actually start filling it out till I think November, and with the holidays, neither of us really had time to focus too much in it. But I started working on it January. I started it and finished it this month, and
dang,
a lot of pieces. I would listen to this podcast while selecting my pieces.
Nice.
Which the list that we were given didn't have any images of what the pieces were, so we would have to copy and paste the ID number of the piece, put it on Google or Lego.com just to see what piece it even is and what color. So that was also super time consuming, but
that sounds fun.
We did it. We got our pieces. They're in production, I guess. I think they're making them, which is weird.
Crispy pieces. Nice.
Well, yeah. I feel bad for the people who have to hand grab these for you. That would suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You feel bad for that employee who has a list of 90,000 bricks.
We got that 45,000 piece order. Who's grabbing that?
Yeah. You get one list, you get the other. But you mentioned something just right now, and that's wanting to come back for something. You came back for the holiday special.
I did. They brought up an idea of doing the holiday special mid-season 3, and I was like, that's awesome. That'd be cool, because I did a lot of charity work with my little brother. So I was like, that sounds awesome. I'd love to do that. How can I get involved? We'll see what the season goes. We're not even sure if we're even going to do it. It's just an idea. But I get sent home, and during our last interviews, I looked dead into the camera and I was like, call me for the holiday special, yo, toodles. And I did. I was home for about 2 weeks. I was home for a week after getting eliminated, getting sent home, and I get a phone call from California. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm in trouble. What did I say? What did I do? And it was like, no, we want you back for the holiday special. I was like, oh, sick. So I was home for 2 weeks.
Trouble. Oh my god.
I thought I did something wrong, which I'm waiting. It's inevitable. I'm waiting for that California phone call to be like, hey, you got to take this video down, or you weren't supposed to say that, or we're taking your bricks back. And I was like, please, no, I'm sorry.
Don't take my bricks.
Don't break my bricks.
Take my videos down, but don't take my bricks. That's so true.
You can take my videos down, but you'll never take my bricks.
I gotta say
But-
that Will Arnett impression
Yes, that's pretty good.
sounded like Will
Pretty good.
Arnett right there.
A little on that. Well,
Nope.
you hang out with him for a little bit, you kind of get an idea of what he sounds like in his body language. He's a funny guy.
So if anybody hasn't watched like the holiday specials of this past season, I definitely recommend it. It was actually really interesting to watch.
It was probably my favorite thing to come out of Lego Masters was the holiday special and that opportunity, and I'm just eternally like so grateful that they brought me back to represent season 3, and it was just such a fun experience. And it was, Boone I look up to a lot, and when I found out Boone was going to be brought back, I was fangirling. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I remember meeting him. He was in the lobby unpacking his stuff because he came in late, and that night they had to get the wardrobe to production really quick so they could start processing it and putting together outfits. Because I was home for 2 weeks, and then I was back in Atlanta for 2 weeks. We had about 2 weeks to do this holiday special. And I remember walking into the lobby and seeing this like 7 foot tall bearded man. And so we walk up to him, I'm just like with a shaky hand, like, hi, I'm Dom. And I wish I got it on camera, but it was such like meeting your hero, and it was such a cool experience. And I didn't just meet my hero, I hung out with him for 2 weeks. We went to like shop, we went shopping together, we went to a cool store together. Funny enough, we have a mutual friend, Zoom, lives in that area. So while we were there after shooting set, every now and then Fazoom would just pick us up from the hotel, and we would go to his Lego basement.
All that.
Shout out to the old gray bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Old gray bricks. Love them to death. And that was just so much fun. It was just and just meeting and just talking to Boone, and like at the time he was in the process of moving out to Denmark and becoming a designer. So I had all that time to ask him questions about that, and like all the attempts he had of becoming a designer, and just so much advice he'd given to me. It was like this really cool mentorship, and it was awesome.
He said it the best, describing himself on that part of the show where like he didn't win, but he won the aftermath, becoming a
absolutely.
Lego. Yeah, he definitely did.
I aspire to not be Boone, but kind of be Boone. If that makes sense. I don't want to be Boone.
Roughly structured after Boone.
Yeah. I just like what he represents in the Lego community, and just how much fun, and how he had that tight-knit community. And he used to have a show that is no longer running because he's a designer, and I'd like to eventually make a show kind of like that, because the community doesn't have that anymore.
The AFOL Spotlight, man.
Yeah, the AFOL Spotlight. Like, I would love to do a show like that. That's like one of my goals this year, is to do my own show.
Are you gonna start singing too? Because that
I might. I mean, I just started playing guitar. I got a ukulele. I'll jam with it. I would start a Lego band.
That's one big thing about his personality, was his voice. It was such
an amazing voice. He was singing so much. He was singing. There was like one challenge where once the cameras were off, and even when the cameras were on, he was just singing holiday songs. It was so nice.
It was. I mean, of course they partnered like him with Robin Thicke, but like it's funny that you fangirled over Boone more than like the celebrities who we were working with. I don't even know if you even knew who those people were.
I knew Leslie Jordan, God rest his soul, R.I.P. But Cheryl Hines, I was just like, who is Cheryl Hines? It was so awkward.
In the building?
Like they're like, yeah, celebrities are in the building. I was like, that's cool and all, but Boone is sitting right, it's like right next to me. That's awesome.
And that says a lot. That says a lot about today. That more people will be freaking out about like seeing someone that they watch online all the time versus like an actual A-list celebrity or B-list celebrity that's out there. Like, like a lot of these people are attached to, just everyday people, and you're more invested into them than you would ever like, Taylor Swift or something like that.
Yeah,
I'd probably freak out seeing Taylor Swift.
I mean, the whole like they're more relatable. Like that's they're more relatable, not just some celebrity in Hollywood. But yeah, I Finesse Michelle, no clue. Sorry, great guy. All these people, all the celebrities were amazing to work with, and they were so much fun. They gave me a bunch of great advice, and I didn't know any of them.
Please tell me you knew who Robin Thicke was. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're getting old, guys.
Boomer energy.
Oh, all right. Which was a perfect representation of what you were supposed to be on the show, and that like dynamic between you and Robin Thicke. You were young, and everyone was remotely middle age and above.
Yeah. I mean, Ethan and I are the youngest Lego Masters contestants team at 18 and 19 ever.
And that was it. Is this like every contestant that comes onto Lego Masters has their life somewhat, already in place. I mean, they're able. The problem with them is that they got to figure out time to carve out work or carve out the show from their work and their families and all like that. You not necessarily had to do as much, but you got to be on the show and represent the new youth coming out into the world, which I think the show did pretty well, especially all the cringe moments, with dabbing. And all the things that you say that were like that we try to replicate, and then really puts people like myself like, oh dude, I'm Will Arnett right now. This is what I'm doing. Like I don't look cool doing that like at all, and just watching you freak out, and that was legitimate. Like you were
that was
uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable hearing him say those terms and phrases, and I had to walk away. I couldn't handle anymore, and he was laughing hysterically and chanting, "I broke Dom! I broke Dom!"
That was the best. I love that part. That was awesome. Like I think when you get to a certain point, like I mean, speaking for myself, like I'm gonna get there one day when my kids are like old enough to have their own slang, their own inside youth terms that you and like Ethan and everyone else in your generation understand that mine just can't seem to comprehend. You're gonna get there to that point where the youth is they'll be saying some gibberish. You have no idea what's happening, but I can't wait to replicate or like recite the stuff they say back to them and then freak out. I think we live off of that at that point. Like I don't dab to be cool. I dab to make you uncomfortable.
To embarrass
you. To embarrass you in front of your friends.
This is what you look like. No, I'm kidding.
I
think it looks
Is this cool? Am I being cool? Is this cool?
It's so bad.
Is this cool? Am I doing the cool kid thing?
Oh, damn.
See, I think it just looks worse when we do it as the parents.
Well, be prepared of a lifetime of that.
Yep.
But like again, going back to the macro scale of it, like you guys representing the youth is what the whole YouTube community is seeing like right now. Is that the people that we're used to watching on YouTube specifically, and then obviously Instagram kind of came a little bit after that, and Twitch, I guess. But like we're so used to seeing like 3 years ago, 10 to 20 people always on and watching their videos, and with the pandemic, it brought so many new people into that platform, but also brought TikTok into fruition and a bunch of other people in there. And you can see a change of the guard or an evolution of the type of content that everyone's making and or watching.
Yeah, so, there's like this new wave. I see it as like a wave of people crashing into the rest of the pool, and I think it's cool.
It's good. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
You guys know this was like I'm not making this up. I'm just like repeating it from someone smarter than me in these senses. But like this was predicted, right? Like plenty of huge mega YouTubers were like, think about it. Like think about how long YouTube has been around and how long social media in general creation has been around, right? Dom, like you grew up, I would imagine, I don't know, like maybe like you guys had rules where you weren't supposed to watch like online, but assuming that you were consuming content, throughout like really formative years of your life, really the best content creators are now coming into the space, if you really think about it. And they're only going to get better and better because, we talked a lot about here, Gen Z versus millennials and their capacity of dealing with the internet and dealing with hate comments and comprehending. Like everyone was like so worried that like Gen Z would be totally screwed. They're screwed for different reasons, but screwed because they like grew up on the internet. But if you really look at it, they actually deal with on the online stuff way better than millennials do. Millennials are the ones that like share too much information, dox themselves, like, stuff like that, right? Because they kind of like got into it at like an awkward age and stuff. But like, think about it, like some of the best content creators that exist on all like platforms, on all subject matters are like 18 to 24 right now. So, I mean, and you think about it, it's quite literally experience and exposure.
Yeah, growing up, I definitely watched a lot more YouTube than actual TV because it was either my exact interest. Watching David Hall he's been around for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, for a very long time.
But watching David Hall and Jang Bricks, and watching those content creators along with other like non-Lego content creators like YouTube gamers and all that jazz. But definitely, I remember watching hours of Minecraft playthroughs, just people getting comfortable talking to the camera, and I feel like that definitely helped me. Like growing up, I always thought of the idea like, being a content creator would be really cool, but I'm not that guy. And then I became that guy, but like almost as an accident because I never anticipated my TikTok to ever blow up. It was something I just did out of boredom, and then I guess I had all these like secrets, techniques, and skills watching and growing up with watching content. It actually came into play, and I had an idea and understanding of what I was doing.
No. So
studying. Yeah.
Another thing with that is that you're in the generation that's expected to do very well because you know what to talk about, you know what to say, you know what you like. For someone who's older, has to figure and understand all those memes and all those things that we just don't know, and try to make it sound like we know what we're talking about is a big challenge. So you have a huge advantage, and run with it because this is you're speaking to your own generation right now. And it's easy to speak to your own generation right now. And the biggest audiences on all the social media platforms are your generation right now. You know what I mean? Like the millennials or like the, Gen X, like they have to figure that out and get to the point where, the youth of today will understand them, which they won't always, or very minimalistically or minimal do.
Hard.
I think that's a mistake when people do that. I think when people try to like don't act their age in a certain way, I think it tends to be a mistake, and it's like
I agree.
Pretty transparent to see
it's very visible to see someone trying to pretend that they are someone that they're not. It's very discouraging to the viewer. They're like, that's yucky. It's
disingenuous, right? Which is like suicide for social media content. So it seems that like the right thing to do would be to just like access the demographic that that they themselves are, and that exists. I mean, there is mega YouTube social media communities for everything and for a ton of different age groups. So it's it exists. You just maybe might not be in the right one. You might be just a fish out of water. Unfortunately, there's like different ways I think to approach it, or at least like make that silo for yourself and like what it represents to you. I think that's important.
Oh, no, definitely. You guys would freak out on the military and biker tube communities. It's very aggressive. Nowhere near Mr. Beast Entertainment whatsoever. No, but like I said, like you have an advantage because you're speaking to the largest audience right now, which is your audience, like your age group. Whereas adults don't really have that type of ability at the moment. They have to stick to their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you guys,
the biggest audience.
You guys have your own. It's not like there's no one for you guys to make content for. Like, and even I will like, I won't say my entire generation is just used to watching, young hip kids, because young hip kids are annoying. I'm annoying. I will admit that I am annoying at times. Kids are jerks. So it's nice to take a break and watch Brickser or Jang Bricks or David Hall or even Matt the Brick Wiz or all those cool adults Lego AFOLs, actual AFOLs. I mean, I'm 20, but I don't really see myself as an AFOL. I mean,
You're an adult.
I'm an adult. I don't
You
want
don't
to
have
be
a
an
19
adult.
on you anymore. You're an adult.
Dang it!
You
This
can
sucks.
vote. You can get drafted into the military. You're an adult. You can't drink yet, which is kind of weak. But like,
It's so wishy-washy. Like,
Yeah.
I got to pay taxes, but I can't drink a brewski with my dad. Come on, man.
can you rent a
Figure
car
it
now
out.
on your own? I don't know. Is that a new thing?
Can I?
Is
What?
it?
Oh, they still can't do that. Wow.
I can't. Yo, I can't rent a car. I gotta be 21, I think, to do that.
That's
24.
unacceptable.
Okay.
24 to rent a
That's
car?
right.
It was
25.
27 when we were young. So
No,
you have this
it was always 24, 25. And there's certain companies where you can do it, but you have to pay extra. It's because the insurance on young people, particularly young men, is very expensive, and rental
we're great.
companies don't want to
Huh,
pay
I
for it.
wonder why. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rent a car to go race it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right. Well, where do you see yourself then with your own social media goals going forward? You do have a YouTube, so
I
that's
do have
there.
a YouTube that my goal this year is to grow that YouTube platform and just essentially do whatever I'm doing, what I'm doing on Instagram and TikTok, lengthen it and put it into a YouTube style format and make longer form content. I want to start streaming Lego live builds, which I used to do a lot on TikTok, but as of the other day, I was banned for a week of I can't go live because of hate speech. I was building a Lego set. I tried appealing it. Didn't like that. And that's something that happens fairly frequently in Lego TikTok community. Just trolls will go into your comments, start blah, 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 blying. Next thing you know, you get reported.
Oh.
It's
I feel like it's also, I honestly, every single time I keep getting, I keep trying to maybe upload something on TikTok, and they're like, you're not 13. And I keep trying
that's
to
true. I had to submit a lot of personal big
constantly.
information.
I think they do it intentionally to get that information from you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they probably know my whole family tree at this point.
Yeah,
But
sure.
Is what it is. I mean,
A couple of
That's the
Cali Brick
internet.
Clique TikToks got held for review or it got taken down.
that's something that
That
I have. I don't know why it's with my account, but I've had very few videos get under review or hit with community guidelines. I could count less than 5 times I've had anything like that. More so just my lives typically get jabooted for stupid reasons, and I'm hoping to move them onto YouTube just so I can have dual cameras set up. I can have just a better way of reading the chat and all that jazz. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping to start that probably after I get back from Atlanta. Because I got a lot of sets that I want to build. I got the Falcon, Star Destroyer, Titanic, AT-AT that I need to build. And I don't want to do it. Yeah. People have made jokes that it's holding my ceiling up at this point, so that's fun.
The support. You
It's
can't knock
low
out the
bearing.
support.
It's a support.
The low
it's a
bearing.
support game.
I was about to say there's people here that rent out whole storage units. So you're at a modest level right now with your backlog.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
My brother moved out, so my bedroom is in his room now. So I will be turning this into a whole Lego studio, which I'm super
storage.
excited. So more room for more Lego. W. Shout out to mom and dad for allowing me to do it.
Hey, run with it as long as you can. But in
Absolutely.
3 years, you definitely went from 0 to 100.
Yeah. I've noticed, and I think what really boosted it is that I think what helps a lot is that I got into Lego TikTok very early. I think that's was really the luck of the draw. My biggest advantage was probably that right there. And then consistency. I'll say it to anyone, staying consistent and posting consistently in the long run does help. With TikTok, there's, you'll go through phases where your views are really good and they're matching with how many followers you have. And then you'll have weeks or months of just low performing videos. And maybe that's because the algorithm's just not picking up what you're putting out. It could just be that you have just poor videos. I do that all the time. But I feel like for me, what helps is just staying consistent and being loyal and posting content to those loyal followers that are always going to watch your videos. Because although I have 1/3 followers on TikTok, I'm not getting that amount of viewership on every single post that I do. The algorithm on TikTok's very weird compared to Instagram's algorithm. I like Instagram's algorithm a lot more. I've been getting a lot of success on Instagram. I've gained, I think, 10K in a month and a half just from re-uploading my TikToks as reels. And from what I've noticed, what it feels like is that Reels algorithm is showing my Lego content to people that are actually looking for Lego content, to where TikTok, you make a Lego content video and it gets thrown out to the FYP. And I'll look in my analytics, and typically it's like 98% is viewership from the For You page, and the rest of the percentage, the 2 or 1%, is your actual following. So it's very strange. It's very interesting.
TikTok people are mean in the comments.
That too.
I'm just
Because
saying.
you're also throwing your
Yeah,
videos
you're out there. That makes sense. That totally
Yeah,
makes
You're
sense.
exposed to everyone.
No, and it's kind of sad that like I know what video to post now on TikTok to make it do well, just because of what people will say. And
Yeah.
those videos are the ones that do well for me.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad. But no, I wasn't just saying like 0 to 100 social media wise. I'm talking about like everything. Like you went from like a modest little collection to like a huge collection of Lego behind you. You're now going to take over this room and your brother's room. You are doing well on social media, and you were on Lego Masters. So like,
I've had a very fulfilling, awesome Lego career, and it's not stopping anytime soon.
That's right.
wow.
Goes up.
But I don't plan on it stopping anytime soon. I'm gonna just keep at it.
Is this what you're going to try to do for the rest of your life? Is like social media full time? Is that your plan? Or goal at least?
I'd
don't
like
know.
to for a few years. I don't know. I have a lot of, I feel like, options, whether it's, eventually opening up my own secondhand Lego resale store.
Cool.
Is it pursuing content creation on my own, making content or social media work for another company and focusing on that? Maybe going back to school and getting a degree in marketing and all that jazz, which I've thought about that a lot recently because I am not in school. I think that makes it very clear with how much time I have to do this. But there's also like the dream of maybe becoming an actual Lego designer one day, or working in a model shop building giant creations for a park. Yeah, it's just my goal essentially in life is to do some sort of Lego work that can sustain my life.
That's
and
the
make
common
Lego-
denominator then. So it's the
That's
Lego.
pretty
Like
much
you want to do
is
something for
just
Lego.
Lego, because Lego is my passion. It what gave me purpose back in life. I'll get a little personal, but I lost my younger brother back in 2018, and for a long time, for about 2 years, I had no ambition, wanted nothing to do. I would sit home, play video games, not do schoolwork. I had nothing going on, and then I started getting back into Lego and making content, and Lego content is what kind of just gave me purpose back in life. And I continue to try to do it as much as possible for as long as I can until I physically cannot do it anymore, until I have to get a big boy job, because that's the dream. Lego is my dream.
Wow.
That was deep right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little deep there. Got a little deep there, but
that
That's
definitely,
okay. Yeah, that's
that's
That's the
okay. That's
spot.
totally fine. Wow, I didn't know that part. Sorry about that, man.
it's life. Life goes on.
Yeah.
I
So-
tried. I hope to think that another way I live my life and put so much time and effort into Lego content, I like to think that I'm honoring his memory, because Lego is something him and I bonded over a lot growing up.
Yeah.
And if he were still here, I think Tony and I he would have been my partner on Lego Masters, and we probably would have won, or he would have made it so.
Wow.
No shade, Ethan. No shade.
No.
And I told Ethan this, and he totally understands it.
What to say? I'm like, sorry, man, you were an afterthought.
Sorry, bro. You were like my second option.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you were number one.
I essentially just try to live my life to the fullest and take chances on things, and kind of what, like, I used to watch a lot of Brick Tech, and I know like he always advocates just following your dreams and passions, and I'm just like, I'm right there with him. Just start making Lego content and see where it goes, or start making content of any interest or hobby that you have and see where it goes, because you might end up on a reality TV show based off it.
Yeah.
Hey, Brick Tech's the reason why I'm here.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, Greg's dope.
I'd love to talk to him one day.
It's not out of reach.
He's not out of reach. He's actually right there.
He's in Pennsylvania.
He's literally, you're a lot closer to get to him than I am. That's for sure. If you go to Philly Brick Fest, I think he might go to Virginia this year. So,
Ooh, I don't go to Brick Fests.
well, that's like right by you.
Yeah, but they're like so.
Yeah, I know. Brick Fest
TBH,
sucks.
they're lame.
Yeah. They're all
TBH,
lame.
they're lame.
It used to be
Dang,
the
someone
thing.
said
It used
that,
to be cool.
Was like, the Virginia now, and or at least for content creators, but now it's just done. So I think he's going to Virginia, so maybe you'll get to meet him there. But I think this is a good place to put a flag at it. And
Yeah,
dude,
absolutely.
thank you for telling us your story, and
Thank you
we
so much for
appreciate
allowing me to tell my story.
all of that, man. Like, sorry again about your brother. I can empathize in a way, but I can't. So, but like, I definitely feel for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, good luck to what you end up doing.
Thank
You
you.
guys made watching
All your endeavors,
Lego
yeah.
Masters interesting, especially the holiday special. I mean, I really only watched the holiday special because of Mel, because he called me out on it. And then I did enjoy the 3 episodes.
Yeah,
you
3
watched
episodes.
it like quite recently, right, Shy?
Yeah, I watched it like after, probably like a couple of weeks after Mel told me to watch it
Got it.
when it was on. And then
I will
just
say,
watched it.
I will say, I feel like the holiday special was an opportunity for me to show my personality without having the villain of season 3 arc on us. It's because that's
Mhm.
kind of how it felt
Yeah.
like they were pointing us to be.
Mhm.
So I do appreciate the holiday special for just allowing me to be me. I guess that makes sense.
It didn't feel like Mel said it was like your redemption, but like it definitely you felt you looked more at ease.
Yeah.
Because you also weren't trying to gain, some sort of notoriety out of it. It was simply representing the season,
Mhm.
getting to, obviously you're getting to build Boone, who you beat.
I beat Boone.
You beat Boone.
Boom.
Not overall, but you just beat him in one thing. But it was good to see like you just be happy in building and not be totally
was.
under pressure.
But
So,
no, yeah.
um,
Shout out to Cheryl Hines. Good teammate.
Whoever-
have you ever watched? Did you watch anything now with her
Nope.
in it? Okay, guess that's not gonna happen. But
I'm sorry, Cheryl. I love you to death. Sorry. I ain't got time to watch TV shows anymore.
wow. All right. Well, we've gone through a lot. We'd love to have you back and
I'd
see
love
where
to
you
come
go with social media in general. Good luck on the tubes, since that's your new focus for, I guess, upcoming. We already know you're killing on TikTok. So
Keep killing it.
is there anything you want to plug or say before we end it?
Shout out to Ethan the Artisan for being an awesome season 3 teammate. Shout out to Cheryl Hines for being awesome. Shout out to everyone involved with the holiday special and season 3. Shout out to Lego TikTok. Shout out to my YouTube and Instagram. That's what I'm trying to grow more. That's Cool Guy Dom02. Shout out to the Lego community for being awesome.
I just felt like that sounded like a radio thing where they just want to like say hi to everybody while they're on air.
Hi to my mom. Hi to my
there you
dad.
go. There you go.
She'll probably
Nice.
watch this.
I love that. Hi, Dom's mom.
Hopefully
Oh.
made it this far.
If you made it this far, hopefully you did. I'm sure. I mean, it's mom.
It's Bob.
Sure.
Sure.
Listen to
That's true,
everything.
yeah.
But with that being said, let's roll that music. Everyone have a good night. Peace. Cool. Thanks, man.
That was awesome.
I hope you enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it so much. Best hour and 15 of my life. Holy moly. I'm on the Cali Brick Podcast. It's awesome.